Welcome to the Going at Noon podcast with me, Balander, and I'm just checking it. Are your pants so sharpened? Never mind, dude. It's been a week filled with both disappointment and excitement in equal parts, and I'm here to talk about it. I'm just here to fill your morning, noon, or evening if you're in the east. So let's just hang out. Recently, what I've been doing with my own workouts is that I changed my stimulus. And dude, I went from heavy volume, like 4 sets of like 12 to 15 reps, still going hard in like the last set, to very heavy loads and a lot less volume. And dude, whatever change happens within the body destroyed my need for salt. Like if I don't drink an extra 30% salted water because I put pink salt in my water, I just drop asleep at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, well, one of the things that people don't consider when they get that midday or afternoon crash is that need of sodium. Not salt, sodium. Sodium is about 40% of salt. So if you want to get, 4 grams of sodium, you gotta get like 10 grams of salt, math. Anyway, I've been doing that because I've been doing the previous type of workout for like a long ass time. It was like an extended mesocycle, and I was like, you know what? I should just switch it up a bit. Let's switch it up. I want to get one of those expensive workout programs by N1 Training to try them out for a possible photo shoot early next year. So yeah, I'm switching to a strength cycle and going back to a metabolic cycle for like a few months. And that's that. I hope you guys are working out, staying healthy. Even without the coof and the pandemic and whatnot, you should still do your best to stay healthy. You shouldn't need such an external stimulus to be, hey, I can suffer less. There's a lot of needless suffering out there that people can take care of by just, hey, take a multi. Take a vitamin D3 with vitamin K. And specifically vitamin D3 because it is the active part of vitamin D. Another thing I've been doing is I got into Gunpla like last year. And this is my 5th? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 5th build. This is my first master raid. It's the Astraeum Red Frey Kai. The one with the giant plastic sword. And I had the insane vision of going, you know what'd be cool? If I painted the entire red plastic a dark metallic red, so it'd be even more imposing, because like Papa Gundam himself said, I don't want someone to walk in and be like, oh, it's a cute robot. I'm like, no, motherfucker, this one's supposed to be imposing. He has 5 Gatling guns. He is evil. So yeah, I'm doing that, and I ran out of black primer literally an hour ago. And I finally managed to, I ordered my black primer, I ordered my metallic red spray paint. I'm still using Ratocans. I haven't committed to an airbrush yet. And dude, this crazy idea of me painting as much as I can on this kit, I'm literally painting everything except for the white parts, and there are not a lot of them. It cost me almost the same as, actually yeah, it now costs me a little more than the kit itself. But this is what you pay when you don't want to do things specifically by numbers or use bare minimum effort, which I despise. Like if I had the means to do something that a little extra that's for my, specifically for my enjoyment, I will do it. And dude, I can't wait to show you guys how awesome this thing is gonna look. It's gonna be a lot of work. There's so many small parts, but the build itself is extremely satisfying. Like, I can see how people are still enjoying a 10-year-old kit at this point. Because the leg build is so unique, dude. Like, there are a few, like, small pegs and whatnot that are just there. And most of the time they're, like, used, to hold parts together. But there are, like, 2 cases where they're just there for, like, detail. And, like, this was not needed, but it's very much appreciated. Okay, I will keep you guys posted whenever. You know what? I'm gonna post a full primed surface before the paint. I need the paint in order to prime, but before I go into like Metallic Red, I'm gonna post for like everything primed up and ready to go. It should be done by mid-December. It should be. Oh my god, it's gonna get into the Endwalker. No. If you guys are players of Final Fantasy XIV, which it should be because it is free up until level 60 and includes the critically acclaimed and award-winning expansion Heavensward with no restriction on gameplay. The expansion was pushed back 2 weeks ago and it's gonna start in December. What's this, 3rd or 4th for like the pre-order people, which includes me. So drawing and anything that's not Endwalker and you know the morning workouts is probably gonna take a massive backseat because this is my first expansion in 14 and I want to enjoy it. Which will probably take about a week. I won't fall back too much schedule-wise with my comic because you know that. I was thinking, speaking of my comic, I was thinking, hey, I'm gonna get this done in January or before January, and then I started actually inking it, and oh, dude, I fucked myself over so hard with the amount of ink work I decided to put down. Because hey, Kentaro Miura Sensei died and left a huge gaping void in comics as a whole, like comics and manga, just a gaping void of, you know, effort and care and passion. Like, you know what? I want to put my itty bitty drop of passion and effort back into that void. So yeah, I'm going above and beyond with my inking and the rendering, which, as I've said, it's gonna take like I'll probably be finishing a page every 2 days, maybe a day and a half depending on the page. Depends on how many trees I have to draw. Because you guys should have seen by now that I promise you, this is a frog bug. This is not a tree bug. This is a frog bug. Anyway, now jumping onto the more specific topic at hand today, which is comics. We are talking always, forever and always, about the sequential art of storytelling here. And the very first topic is this one. It is Fear State Batman and the absolute disappointment that James Tynion's Fear State has been. I cannot tell you how many times I've been so frustrated reading this and fighting myself to enjoy the art, but the story is so frustrating that I just couldn't. I can't even in good faith recommend the chase to people because, hey, buy it for the art because Jorge Jimenez is a fucking monster. He kills it here. I don't know why he's not being colored by Alex Sanchez. Those guys fucking work brilliantly together. It always strikes me how some colors are like, oh, you're the Batman colors or you're the Justice League colors. Just Sanchez knows how Tynion's work should look like. I mean, this isn't bad. I just prefer Sanchez because it's more simpler. I think it's more simpler, and I'm always more biased towards simpler rendering, especially when you have someone who puts down so much ink like Jorge. Dude, I would love an artist edition of Fear State or Jorge's entire Batman run with like literally no lettering. Just give me the pictures. He already draws in a manga style where he puts down grayscale, so I won't need anything else. Just give me the pictures. Fuck the lettering, fuck the text, because I already know it's gonna be garbage. Like, the amount of times Batman didn't save a situation is staggering to have in a single volume, in a single arc. This is beyond Tom King levels of stupidity. Every time a situation or a person had to be... I'm trying not to spell because I know some people would like to read it for themselves with somewhat of a fresh eye, but the amount of times someone or a person or a situation or something was quote-unquote saved that didn't involve Batman is almost like 90% of the cases. Batman's doing all the fighting, but when it comes to something plot important to be moved, let's say it's Commissioner Gordon. This isn't the book. This is just an example. Commissioner Gordon being rescued. It's either Harley or the new Gardner chick, which I find is a redundant character. The Gardner or the new Miracle Molly character. Is just every time something decisive happens, Batman isn't involved in it. And this is the Batman comic we're talking about. This is extremely stupid. I'm laughing because it's fucking hilarious how bad it is. But Jesus Christ, like Tinian lost so many points with me because of this one. And the worst part is, just like Tom King in the beginning, he started out well. People loved it, and I think one of the reasons was people loved it because it wasn't Tom King, and that kind of blinded us. But now with Fear State, this is, oh my god, this is. I just can't wait for Williamson to take over, man, and see what he does, because Williamson with his flash run floored me. I had just come off of reading Jeff Jones's like 3-volume Flash collection, and then I jumped into Williamson's Flash, and I'm like, dude, I'm home. Maybe the couch is a bit different. Maybe the wallpapers have been torn down. You know, the TV is new and whatnot. But I'm home, and that was quite enjoyable. But this dude, I can in good faith recommend it. I think the first trade of his Batman Detective run, and I've read a few like thrown away issues, and I didn't get this impression of his work. I might have to reread it again and see if I'm going to buy his entirety of Detective Run, because it looked good. There are a few moments where you can see that he's treating the Detective Comics book as a Bat family book, and there are some good moments in there. But I'm gonna have to reread that with fresh eyes, because I read that like a few years ago before I got into the nitty gritty of comics and storytelling, and cared about something that's beyond mediocre. But yeah, we're gonna start off with like the worst part, and we're gonna start climbing up higher and higher with the things that were enjoyed, which is this thing. Did I lose my windows? Yeah. Dude, I want fucking YouTube. Hey, YouTube. I know you're gonna listen to this. Hey, Obama, no, not about it. Whoever's gonna listen to this, give me the option to pin my popped out chat window on top. You know how Discord, whenever you pop out the voice chat or the video chat, whatever chat you're in, it has that anchor option that just puts the window on top, and whatever you do, it's always on top of all your windows, and you just don't lose it on your screen. Yeah, give me that, YouTube. Just, dude, there's so much potential for YouTube. They just need to fucking listen to me. Now, give me a second as I glug some water. My avatar goes insane every time I drink. I should probably add a JPEG for like, a glug break. But this I enjoyed more. King Spawn. Now, disclaimer, I am biased towards Spawn. Spawn's my favorite character when it comes to mainstream comics, and I would follow Spawn, especially the main book, no matter how bad it gets. That's my religious comic. People have been collecting, Batman or whatever, they just are in the habit of collecting it, and they will collect it forever and always. This is the one book for me, or the one character per se. Now, I do have a big question and criticism for King Spawn. Apparently, maybe not. I may have not read enough interviews. King Spawn is supposed to be, it's the same Spawn, the same timeline, and everything, but it's just grittier and darker. And my question is, why is this just not in the main book? I get that Todd is trying to expand, and this is giving a lot more people a chance to play in the Spawn sandbox. But still, dude, current Spawn is, the A book. This feels like an A and B book to me. You hit like, you have Batman and Detective, you have Superman in action. This is something similar. It's still Spawn, with some slight artistic differences. Yeah, I just don't know why we couldn't just have a darker, grittier, and more violent Spawn in the main book. It's still dark, darker and violent. This one is just a tad more. But yeah, I don't know why this isn't just one book. I'm yet to see why the King Spawn book needs to exist, and hopefully I am proven wrong in the upcoming issues. But dude, the thing I do enjoy about this book is the return of a lot of old characters. Billy Kincaid is, for spoiler alert. I mean, if you're up to date with Spawn, you already know Kincaid's back, because it's like issue 2 or something. Now it's issue 4. Old characters returning I enjoy seeing it. You know, nobody ever stays dead in comics, which is both good and bad. But hey, we take our we take what we get sometimes. It's how it's been established, it's how it's been done. Is it optimal? Not really. But what you gonna do about it? It's not me who's writing and trying, so. But I do enjoy Billy Kincaid being back. He's a lot more vicious now. This book as a whole seems to be a lot more mature. There's a whole lot of fucking going on. The book as a whole is more mature, which I hope it continues to go in that manner. But yeah, if you've been reading King Spawn, let me know what you think. Oh, why is my cursor visible when I'm just moving? Okay. This is weird. I'm gonna probably have to hide my cursor on this specific source. But yeah, King Spawn is... It's good, it's good. I can recommend King Spawn. Again, I'm biased towards Spawn. You gotta remember that. But here's to... The next comic is like the biggest surprise of the past few months, which I didn't expect to see. It came out of nowhere and I've been enjoying a whole hell out of, which is Gun Honey. I don't know if this is a pre-established like movie franchise or whatever this is, wherever it came out of. Gun Honey is awesome. It's a properly done femme fatale comic. It's everything. Like the lead is actually hot. She fucks everything. She's drawn in this pen and ink style. The art, I can tell the artist is a rookie, and there are some things that need to be polished. Specifically, sometimes the face in the more difficult angles doesn't look as attractive as it does in the more often seen angle, like a straight on or 3/4. You know, if there's like a weird angle, the face will not always look attractive. But dude, I'm there for it. I'm there to support this comic and this artist's growth and the pen and ink detailing he does. Oh, it jerks me off so good. Like I said, the story is... It's very grounded. There are no HJWisms. It's just whatever you'd want to see from a femme fatale crime comic. It's beautiful. There's tits galore. There's action. There's intrigue. Her backstory is... I want to say it's very typical of a femme fatale. You know, she had a crime-infested family. Her dad taught her and her brothers how to survive, yada yada yada. He taught her different skills than the boys. It's good, man. If there's a comic I really want to recommend that you pick up, which I don't even know... I keep forgetting the name. Let me see. What's the name? Hard Case Crime. Okay. So it's by Hard Case Crime. Go pick it up. I don't know where they sell this physically because I'm reading it digitally. Because when it comes to physical comics, I have to collect the trades because there's no more fucking space in my room. I was forced to start collecting trades around Rebirth when I saw because I had collected the entirety of like Grayson and the new Harley Quinn series that had started before that, and they were like 30 something issues each. I'm like, oh dude, I will need a storage room just for my comics, and I'm not into that. So I did keep all my issues on those two series and a couple of others, but then I had like trade in my single issues for trades, and I've been doing that ever since. And I do enjoy a thick trade on my shelf, because you can display that bitch a lot better. And if you're like privy to like a specific cover, you could just buy that single issue and use that to display. It's something that I'm doing with my Capullo Batman run. I have 4 single issues, which are like my most favorite covers, where he has like different parts of the Batman suit being assembled. Those are good to display. I can display those anywhere. I can just put them on my wall and they'd look great. But yeah, Gun Honey, if you haven't read it, go read it. Go support it. This is a fantastic femme fatale, and it's a very much appreciated breath of fresh air. And now the last mainstream comic is Gunslinger Spawn. To nobody's surprise, I fucking love this. First, it is Spawn. Second, it is Brett Booth finally drawing an awesome book where he's not being kneecapped by editors, or mostly editors. If you guys listened to my most recent podcast with him, editors are a bunch of idiots, especially at DC. Like, holy shit, man. But yeah, dude, I love Francisco Placencia's colors on him. And I don't know what happened between him and Greg. Is Francisco done in like Comicsgate work? Is that why he's not working with Greg? But whoever the new guy is that's coloring Greg is just not the same, dude. I don't know what it is. He's doing, the typical cut and grad, and maybe it's just because I've been so accustomed to seeing Francisco's colors on Greg that my brain just hasn't accepted it yet. But I still think Francisco's a fucking god when it comes to coloring Greg, and he looked great on Brett as well. This is awesome. The thing I enjoyed the most about this book, about Gunslinger Spawn, that he was literally plucked out of the 19th century. The motherfucker can't fucking read. He doesn't know what gas is. He doesn't know how a motorcycle works. He doesn't know how what a phone is and how it works. It's superb. It was funny. Brett is allowed to do whatever he wants with the art. He isn't kneecapped like I said earlier, and it's just a pleasure to read, man. It's just a great book. Alright, I'm talking a lot. I need to bring another glug break in here. Oh, that's good. I don't think I can glug that loud in order for my mic to pick it up because I'm also running NVIDIA RTX voice and I have Voicemeeter. I think it's Potato. Mine's Potato. To further improve my audio quality, so it probably won't pick it up anyway, unless you go to like the super default Razer Mini mic settings, which I don't want to fuck with. Anyways, Gunslinger Spawn is probably my most favorite recent book when it comes to mainstream comics. It's been in a huge anticipation. It's like 3 issues ahead of its release schedule, which is fucking finally something good. Because as we all know, a lot of comics are rushed. They're like, oh, you gotta finish it today because it's going to the printer in like a couple of weeks or a month. And before, we all know that the organization was like, hey, you gotta have 3 issues in the can before you launch, which is something that's been done with crowdfunded comics. You gotta have X amount of pages done before you launch, which has become, and with which the new gold standard has become, it's optimal for you to have the book as done as possible before you launch. So we gotta with crowdfunded comics and Comicsgate specifically, we gotta shift that delivery period a lot lower. It can't be 8 months after the campaign's finished. I understand for like rookies like me and people who need the money and whatnot, and they have like another job and they're not drawing full time. If I wasn't in the situation I am now, I probably would have done it the same. I probably would have been like, hey, these are my 4 or 6 pages. Here's a couple of colored pages. Let's go with the campaign. Me being in a different situation, I would have done that. I can't fault people who need the money to do that. But the big guys, I don't see why aren't you just, hey, book is done. Campaign for 30 plus 15 in demand so we can get that double, triple bump. Delivery in 3 months. There. I don't know why we're not doing that as a whole. Because if there's anything if the mainstream can point at us and actually have credibility on, it's us being late. And that's not something I wish to continue. It's not a good precedent to set. Especially for the newcomers, because you're joining this crew. And whenever you say, hey, I'm Comicsgate, I have this book, and people are like, oh, aren't you guys like always like at least 6 months late? It's not optimal. It's not a good way to do business to begin with. Anyway, tangent apart, there is one more comic I want to talk about, which is not a mainstream comic, and that is Arc Athena by Master Eric Canetti. We got a recent update on the Arc Athena. I hate that Indiegogo does this thing where it just look at this. It blanks out everything. Just dude, let me fucking look at the pages. Come on, man. But anyway, we got an update from Arc Athena, the artist edition, and the sketchbook are at the Iconic Comics. I was gonna say press release. Warehouse. They're being prepped to get shipped. The only thing that is left is the actual colored comic. And so far, this project is on schedule with a very possible early delivery, which is not something we see very often. I mean, Master Keri has an entire new shtick. He has 5 issues already in the can drawn. They just gotta get lettered and colored. It is insane what this man has done in the past year, and the numerous amounts of gold standards he's going to set. But here's someone else who really deserves a lot of credit, and that's Tim Lim in the Common America crew. Because they've been doing that since day fucking one. And I don't know how it slipped through my mind and through the cracks of my attention. But yeah, Tim Lim has been doing a campaign with the book drawn and ready to be printed since day fucking one. So if you have the means, go support Common America as well. If it's not on any live campaign, you just go to Antarctic Press or Icon Comics. I don't know which. I think he had some books that weren't on Antarctic but are on their website. So go support them, and hopefully they're... Oh no. See, this is the thing I don't enjoy about Iconic Comics, is that they don't ship worldwide, which I understand the business reasoning of it. They're like, hey, there are like 3 people in Spain. It doesn't justify the costs about shipping to Spain, so we won't do it. I understand that as a customer, but also as a fan who wants to support them, I also don't want to fucking accept it. So maybe have a friend in any other countries that they ship to, have the product shipped to them first, and then have them shipped to your house. Yes, you're gonna have to pay a lot more shipping, but hey, if you want to really support a book, sometimes it is what it is, as they say. There's also always the digital option, but honestly, dude, fuck digital. I don't care about digital. I want the book in my hand, because it's always a hardcover, dude. It's always a hardcover. I want the fucking book in my hand and then on my shelf. I can't display a bunch of PDFs. I mean, I can if I fucking print them and yada 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 and, you know, staple them together myself, but no. I want the book with the signature on the inside. I don't like my covers being destroyed unless it's like a... Well, not all, because not Arcathina. Whatchamacallit? The Graveyard Shift cover is like a pretty simple design, and it only changes color. So having that signed doesn't kill my heart as much. It's still a bit painful, but it's not... I won't bitch moan and complain about it. Someone signing over a cover like the Arcathina cover or a Cyberfolk cover, you know, whatever cover that's like a full-blown illustration, that is painful. That I do not want to see. Have a page on the inside that's meant for signatures and, you know, messages and whatnot, and I'll gladly do that. Moving on to other news for which I don't have any screenshots. So I'll just put this away. CG auction, the art auction was held again this weekend. People made money, as we always do in Comics Gate. If there's a thing we can do in Comics Gate, it's have fun and make money. You know what I'm really interesting to see about the CG art auction is a non-CG pro. Let's say, for example, one of my favorite artists, Greg Capullo, just says, hey Ethan, I got this piece, I just drew Cyberfolk for fun, I want to see how much it sells for. Put it on your auction. I'm really interested to see what happens then. Not only with the auction itself, because it's a non-CG guy offering a product of his, you know, a drawing of a CG property, let's say, or something else. But I also want to see what will happen within the mainstream. Because my interaction with Twitter has changed from me just getting angry at retards to me just laughing at retards. I just want to point and laugh and see what happens then. Like, what would happen if, I don't know, Master Keri takes the time out of his day to draw even an Arcathina character and be like, hey Ethan, you want to offer this on your art auction? I'll send you the art piece because I can't join the auction because, you know, time restraints and yada yada, whatever the reasoning is. I want to see what will happen then. I'm really curious. This is just morbid curiosity of what would happen if someone who is not Comics Gate comes in and sells something that's truly great, not just some mediocre bullshit. Like someone truly great comes in and offers a drawing at the art auction. But the art auction also spawned a very... Oh my god, we're gonna end on a negative note, aren't we? I'm sorry, dudes. I just looked at my bullet points. I was supposed to talk about Arc Athena last, so to end on a positive note, but hey, it is what it is, my dudes. The thing I want to talk to you guys about is that I mentioned it before in the tangent, the books are late. It's not acceptable. Books are like before you launch the campaign, you can tell how much, or more or less how much you're gonna take to do the book. What is this? Okay, we actually have the Waterman here on Harris Hiller's stream beats. Let's fucking baller, dude. Let's fucking go. We're gonna end up on a POG song with a negative topic. Books are fucking late. We can't do this as a group, I don't want to say community, as a team, as a collective of both professionals and customers. We cannot accept late books on either side. As customers, it's unacceptable, and as professionals, it's even more unacceptable in my eyes. We can sit down and calculate more or less how much the book is gonna take to draw and produce, and add like an extra third of the time for unforeseen... Let's call them accidents, because an artist just disappearing on you midway is not something you can predict. And that's understandable, like Rob Barton had to go through like, what, 69 colors before he landed on Bancroft? That is acceptable, that is not something you can predict. Or Lady Alchemy, her artist was a fucking cunt to begin with, and he just upped and left on her, so she had to start from scratch. I still think I should have been the one to draw that book, but that's me being arrogant. But yeah, dudes, we cannot accept this on creator and on customer side. Because like I said in my previous tangent, if there's something the mainstream pros we clown on can point at us and throw shit back at us with credibility, it's that we are late. And this is not professional. We pride ourselves in bringing back professionalism in any and all aspects of comic book making. And story and art shouldn't be the extent of that. It should be in talking with customers that we're actually very good at. It's providing updates and communication, promotion, entertainment with the streams, and delivery. It's what killed Image's momentum. It's what would eventually kill our momentum as well if we are not careful. 2022, we need to fix this. We can't do these late books. And if you're afraid that something might happen, do what John Malin did. I mean, I'm not saying he did it because he's afraid, but his delivery date on Godlike is fucking insane, dude. It's something like, in 10 years, he's gonna deliver it. If you have that, I'd rather you have a super late date and be honest about it. Be like, hey, I don't know how long this will take me because it's going to be a lot of work, and I'm also counting in shit no one can account for. So I want to make sure that I deliver it on time, even though it's gonna take me a long time to do that. I'd rather you do that than you say, hey, I'm gonna deliver this in the next 6 months, and then you be an extra 6 months late. I understand that for a rookie, dude, because shit happens. You're new. You're going through a baptism of fire, basically. But for anyone who has had more than, I don't even want to say 2 campaigns, I want to say 1, because there's so much information out there. There's the Rob Arnold, it's not a PDF, the Google document where he outlines everything you need to know and do and prepare for in order to make a crowdfunding campaign. So if you had one campaign where you've had, the internal experience of doing that, we should not be being late. We should not be late on our books, dudes. We can't allow that to happen. That note, I'm gonna leave you. I've already talked my ass off. I'm not just gonna stretch this to an hour because I have no more topics to discuss. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, and join me again next week where we talk about what's gonna go down in this week. And I will try to do some shorts reviews again. But the thing with those shorts reviews, here we go on another tangent. I guess this is tangent of the podcast. I don't enjoy doing the short reviews because I don't enjoy reading the comics that much. Every week I have less and less things that I enjoy, and I just don't want to bring in any additional suffering into the world. I just want to be like, hey, if this is the cool shit, go check it out. I thought Fear State was gonna be the cool shit, but no, it ended up being complete disaster, and that should be called out because it has a fantastic artist on it. But yeah, I'll see if I can do some short reviews, because I also have to feed the algorithm. But I would like to make this Join at Noon podcast a thing, a regular thing, where I can just come and talk to you guys. Thank you again so much for watching, listening, like, comment, subscribe. We gotta grow this bitch. The algorithm is a hungry hippo, and we gotta feed it. Thank you again. Bye bye bye.